Hi everyone, my name is Kieran, and I've been a global history major for about 2 years now, and I pretty much studied the ins and outs of World War II. I've studied the victories and the losses and the battles and the battlegrounds, but when it came to the topic of my speech, it was something that I never really saw before, and I learned that a lot of you didn't know about either. So when we think of Hitler, we usually think of socialism and the Holocaust and like turmoil and chaos and war. But when it comes to the topic of my speech, no one really usually thinks of dogs. The title of my speech today is called Madman's Best Friend. Today I will be discussing a little bit about Hitler's life and then his relationship that he had with these dogs and what this could mean, what this reflects of his leadership. I'm going to start off by informing you a little bit about Hitler. According to Robert Wistrich from the Jewish Virtual Library, Hitler was born in 1889 to Clara and Alois Hitler, who are seen here. They both passed away when Hitler was just a teenager, and he only had one surviving sibling, Paula Hitler, that lived to adulthood. A little later on, he turned to his artistic ability, and he applied to the Vienna Academy of Art, where he got denied from twice. He lived off a minimalistic lifestyle and only had the money from his father's inheritance to live off of. Introducing himself to war and politics for the first time, Wistrich explains that Hitler volunteered and fought for the German army for 4 years in World War I. You can see here two pictures of Hitler. He's circled and next to a few people that he fought beside. I want you to remember these pictures for a little later on in the slideshow as well. Getting injured in 1916 and in 1918 and being on the losing side of the war overall made Hitler very angry towards not only the German military but also German politics in general. This hatred provoked him to start the German Workers' Party, which then turned into the National Socialist German Workers' Party, which is known as the Nazi Party. From this information, we could see that his life was clouded with death and war and politics, and we wonder if there was anything in his life that would maybe make him not an angry and miserable person. So, for the benefit of my speech, there was, and it was his dogs. Coincidentally, all of the dogs I'm going to be speaking about came to him in times of turmoil. His first dog was called Little Fox, and one day when Hitler was lying in the trenches of World War I, I would imagine scared and tired and defeated, a small white Jack Russell jumped into his trench and didn't leave his side. They were seen together all the time, and every day Hitler would come back to the trench and the dog would be sitting there waiting for him. Now the slides that I showed you before were actually not full pictures. These are the full picture of both of them, and Little Fox is actually seen in both of them. His next dog was Prince, and was his first German Shepherd, and was given to him when he was living in poverty, when he was trying to create the Nazi Party. This is interesting because it was his first German Shepherd, and from this time on, he never had a different dog from the German Shepherd. His name in German, Adolf, actually translates into noble wolf, which leads to no surprise that he picked the German Shepherd, who is the closest dog breed to a wolf, to be his pet. His last dog, Blondie, which is seen here, this photo is from uncommon-travel-germany.com. Blondie was actually with Hitler in the bunker of World War II with himself and Eva Braun. Before Hitler killed himself and his wife, he ended Blondie's life because he did not want anybody else to be his owner and have ownership over him. So what can this relationship tell us about Hitler? First of all, it's a huge reflection of his leadership. The first way it is because the way he trained Germans in general. According to Ali Hein in Hitler Youth, in 1929 Hitler created this program called Hitler Youth, and he gathered young boys and girls from all over Germany, and they were trained and manipulated. They were trained to march and parade and study maps, and they were educated on racial purification and anti-Semitism. He kind of trained all these young Germans to be little soldiers and to grow up with confidence to fight for him. And it's a direct connection with the way he trained his dogs. He got them when they were youths, and they learned to only answer to his commands, and they learned to jump through hoops, and they traveled with him everywhere that he went. The second way this relationship is reflective of his leadership is the exposure of his belief in racial purification. He handpicked his dogs ever since Prince to be German Shepherd. This shows that he truly believed that the strongest, the most loyal, and the superior race was German. If you were a dog or if you were human, no matter what you were, he believed that if you were German, you had the ability to succeed in life. Politically, you could see that he carried this thought through with the way he ran his country. He instilled the Nuremberg laws, during the Holocaust, which required that every German citizen prove that all 4 grandparents were of German descent. In conclusion, the last thing I'm going to share with you today is an interesting fact actually about these laws. Though Hitler created and sought to protect this Aryan race, what many people don't actually know is that he himself was not able to comply with these laws because he didn't know one of his grandparents. So for the person who lived his entire life for the preservation and expansion of the so-called pure race, he actually may have not been a part of it at all. Thank you.
Our next